move on to verse 3. Yes, so what is he saying? Like you see these two arisings, in between two thoughts, in between two feelings, there is an interval. Start noticing that interval. Yeah. Again and again, hold on to that interval. That's where you go to your pure nature. You go to your own self. Yeah. Again, just like in this picture, you can see the blue sky. Yeah. Just like that, in between the interval, you will be able to experience the witness. Even if it is just a glimpse of the witness, you get that glimpse of the witness in between two thoughts, in between two feelings, even in between two perceptions. Yeah? So make that effort to recognize that. If you make that effort to recognize that, you will understand what Atmananda calls the I principle. Yeah? The capital I principle. He says this I principle is consistently present. It's present in all the three states. Yeah? I principle is present in the waking state. That is why in the daytime you have the sense of I, but the sense of I gets wrongly identified with the body and the senses. So when it gets wrongly identified with the body and the senses, you think I am the body, I am the senses, yeah, or I am the mind. In the dream state, the I principle gets attached to the images. Yeah? That feeling of I sense is there even in the dream. That is why in the dream you have a dream character along with the dream world. Yes? So that I sense is there in the dream character. For example, in this dream, I am sitting on a swing that hangs from the sky. And I'm swinging over the world. Whenever you dream, you have that I sense over there. I was swinging over the entire world. My swing was hanging from the sky. So the I sense, that I principle is there in the dream, but it is falsely attached to the image now. Dreams are nothing but images. Yeah, basically it's attached to the mind. It is joined to the mind. Actually, it is independent of them, but it is a false superimposition. Yeah, a false superimposition, because the dream is what I can see in the front. Yeah, behind the dream, the screen of I, the awareness, that is not visible to me. Just like in between these two arisings, if you look carefully, you can see the blue sky behind. But I am so consumed by these arisings, I don't notice that interval in between two thoughts, two feelings, yeah, two sensations, two perceptions. So this I principle is joined to the waking state, it is joined to the dreaming state, and it is purely there in the deep sleep state. When there is absence of objects. So when there is absence of objects, I feel there is nothing happening. There is no experience. But still, when you wake up and somebody asks you, how did you sleep? I slept so soundly. Who knows? Who knows that I slept so soundly? How do I know? So the knowing, the power of knowing is not a faculty of the mind. It is a function of pure knowingness, of pure consciousness. In deep sleep, when I'm devoid of objects, I am resting as pure consciousness, knowing that I am sleeping soundly. Yes, is this clear? That is the meaning of objectless consciousness. In the waking state, physical objects are the objects. Yeah? All the perceptions, these are objects. Yeah? Perception of sight, perception of sound, perception of taste, perception of touch, perception of smell. These are the physical objects. That is the object in the waking state. In the dreaming state, the images that I see in the dream, yeah, all of those are mind's perceptions. They are saved from the waking state and they are replayed during the dream state. Those are the objects called mental objects. They are in the dreaming state. But when I come to the deep sleep state, I come closest to pure consciousness because there is no object there. No physical object, no mental object. In the deep sleep state, I am objectless. That's the meaning of objectless consciousness. That is Atma. Okay, here it's very important for me to clarify that there is no individual Atma here. Ekta's Atma and that is Shalini's Atma and that is Hemant's Atma. No. This is a very wrong understanding. Can I say this space in this room is Ekta's space and that space there in Texas is Shalini's space? Nope. There is nothing like a personal, individual space. Yes? So there is nothing like a personal Atma here. Here when he says Atma, he's referring to Brahman. That all-pervading, same consciousness, objectless consciousness, that is Brahman. Is this sutra clear? Yeah. Now, experientially, how do I recognize the I principle? In Hindi, we can say, hone ka ehsaas. Yeah, you have that sense of being, not sense of being somebody, just the sense of being. There is a sense. Yeah. If I again say I sense, you again take it as ego. That's why I don't say I sense. Just a sense of being, a sense of existing. Yeah? That is what he's calling the Atma or the objectless consciousness, yeah? Or the I principle. If so far it is clear, we can move to the fourth verse. Verse number 4. Yeah? Look at the words carefully. It is that Atma that shines in deep sleep. In deep sleep, there are no objects, no physical objects, no mental objects. There is an absolute void, an absolute rest, relaxation that you experience. The pure consciousness itself is at rest. It is in itself. It is experiencing itself because it is not involved in external objects or mental objects. Yeah. So it is shining in deep sleep. And also when a desired object is attained. Now what does this mean?
So when the desired object is achieved, the thoughts and the mind, they are at rest. And there is this surge of experiencing of the pure consciousness, which we see as happiness. But in the mind, we give it this attribute to the mind, and that's why we think, okay, mind and the object, thus we think that it is arises from there, but it is only the cessation of thoughts and...
Superb. What is thought? Thought is nothing but I relish something or I reject something. I want something or I push away something. I crave for something or I'm averse to something. A thought, a desire is nothing but feverishness. Yes? So our tendency is that we build up this tension with wanting, craving. That is what is a desired object. Yeah, even if it is a very genuine desire to get good marks in exam, or a genuine thing, get my project done on time. Yes, something very real life. We are not even talking about desires like buying the most expensive phone on the market or the most expensive car. We are not even going there. A regular daily work related desire. For a student, exam related desire. Yeah. What is a desire? What do I do in my desire? I build up tension. I say, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Like in a pressure cooker, slowly, the tension builds up. Like that, I build up tension when I keep desiring. I want this project to succeed. I want this to succeed. I don't want my manager to say this, blah, 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 blah. And that pressure increases humongously. Yeah. And finally, I attain that. My project work gets done. My boss says, great, shabas, fantastic job. Yeah, or I get great marks and my parents are very happy with me. I attain that desired object. What happened? It's like the pressure going off, the pressure getting released. What happened when the pressure got released? Where did I get thrown back to? The image on the screen dropped off. You were thrown back at the screen. Yes? So you experience the happiness because of being back to your pure nature. Your pure nature is happiness. Yeah? So culmination of a desire is what actually brings the relief, and that relief throws you into your pure nature, and that's where you experience the happiness. Happiness is not in that object. Yeah, not in that project being successful or you getting great marks in school or whatever. It was not in that object. The happiness is my nature. Happiness is who I am. And when I let go of these arisings, the thoughts, the sensations, these are arisings, perceptions which I'm holding on to. I get pushed back to my nature. The wave of that arising recedes and I rest. Even if I just rest for a few seconds, I rest there. That is the objectless consciousness shining, the Atma, the Brahman, my true nature shining. Yes? This makes it very, very clear that happiness is not in an object. If happiness was in that object, say that most expensive phone in the market, I should get happiness every time I look at that phone. If I have the object for 10 years, continuous straight line happiness should be there. Whenever I see that object, does that happen? No. There is no straight line, continuous happiness coming from that object. Yeah? The happiness was not in the external object. The happiness came from the release of that pressure that I build up in the craving of that object. Now, do I do this only in craving? I do this in aversion. When I do not like my neighbor's face, every morning I'm all dressed up to go to work. Now you're not going to work, but whatever. When you were ready to go out, the first person you see is your neighbor. Oh my God, my whole day is going to go bad. So you have this aversion in your mind for your neighbor. And every time you see your neighbor, you think of your neighbor, you see his name outside on his door, there is tension built up. In every aversion, I keep building up the tension, building it up. And one day I hear the neighbor is leaving the complex and moving out. What happens? The release of the tension has happened. You were thrown back into your pure nature. So the happiness that came from going back to the screen. Came from going back to your nature. In between those two arisings, the pressure of seeing the neighbor again and again, and that last event where he told you that he's moving out. There's so much pressure built up. You did not rest in your nature. Yeah, that pressure is what was killing you. And the release from the pressure helped you rest in your nature. The happiness is my nature. I don't get happiness by the mean neighbor leaving. Do you see what I'm saying? Now apply these. I just gave you 2 examples, general examples. Apply this in your life. And you check, experiment. What Atmananda is saying, is this true? Is this right? Is this something I can relate to? Yeah. So experiment, contemplate, evaluate, become very clear. When you're very clear, you will let go of every arising. Now, next time a craving comes up, you will recognize, oh, it is the mind and I'm taking my stand as the mind. Let me come to the awareness. Why should I let this craving build up tension and then after a long time come to my nature? Let me come to my nature right in the beginning. Yeah? This is the shift that will help bring peace of mind. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, first thing is you have to first recognize it in your own mind. Does this happen to me? Yeah. That is called Manana. Checking, yes, this is happening with me. If there is a doubt, ask me a question. Send me an email. If there is a doubt, talk to your co-sangha people who are attending this. Figure it out. Yes, this happens to me. That is proper Manana, where I become clear. Yes, it happens to me this way or that way, or doesn't happen to me. Manana is complete, then only Nididhyasana begins. Then Nididhyasana says, oh, I did it to myself. All that aversion building, all that drama, that hatred, the sorrow, I did it to myself. My nature is happiness. Can I again and again shift my perspective to the witness? Yes? So you have to actually work on shifting your perspective again and again. Then you will totally understand Atmananda. Yeah. The other way to see this from the Advaita level 2 perspective. From Advaita level 2, we discuss that I am the one projecting. Every morning I project the images on the screen. Yeah. Right now also you are projecting. Because of your previous spiritual conditioning, you're saying, yes, I agree with this. No, I don't agree with this. In this scripture it said like this. In that scripture that guru said like this. This is all projecting. When I project, I bring in too many thoughts, sensations. I have created all those arisings. I create the drama. Yeah, I go through the drama. When I recognize, oh, I'm creating too much drama, I'm not really listening to what Atmananda is saying, let me just drop this. Immediately all the waves drop together. You come back. Doesn't this happen to you? Yeah? Recognize this. This Advaita level 2 was just one single statement of projection, but it is the most difficult thing to really master on this path. All the time I'm projecting. It is in my hands to halt this projection. Drop it, relax, come back. Yeah? Again and again, rest in that interval between two projections, in that interval between two arisings. Yes? Again and again, rest from the projection. This is a practice that people do. Yeah? When you start recognizing that your projection creates the images, creates the drama, then you suffer from the same drama, and then you say, why is there drama? Yeah, who started it in the first place? You are projecting. Yeah? So you recognize this and halt. Halt the projection. Halt. Yeah? We'll keep talking more on this. This is something very difficult for the ego to swallow, because the ego does not like staying quiet. Yeah? But the highest knowledge, or the highest medium of instruction about Brahman is silence. Why? Because in silence there is no projection. Okay? So ego does not like this silence, so it does not like this homework also of stopping the projection. But you recognize it again and again, again and again. Yeah, when I halt the projection, I come to my nature. The same thing happens when I have built up desire, I have built up the projection, I have built up the images, I have built up the drama. It's constantly haunting me in the mind. And when a desire is attained this way, through craving or aversion, doesn't matter, the projection halts. The images fall off. And I come to my nature as the screen. Yeah? These are two ways of looking at it. If you come from the Advaita 2 level way of projection, it really helps you become very firmly established in Brahman. Yeah? The previous explanation was simple, day to day, where you actually see the tension. Now, When you change your stand from the day-to-day body, mind, senses and see it from the awareness, I see it as a projection of images I am doing. Yeah? The more I keep thinking the neighbor should go away, why is he staying here, why that, why, I'm projecting. The images are proliferating. Yeah, they are growing, and that is the drama. And when the desire is attained, all these images fall. Yeah, the projection halts. So those who are very serious about getting to the understanding of Brahman, this is your homework. Projection. Recognize that you're projecting. Recognize when a desire is attained, nothing else happens but the projection is halted. And when the projection is halted, you automatically rest as the screen. The relief is from projecting. Projecting itself is a lot of work. Projecting itself is a lot of built up of tension. Yeah? So that's your next homework. Can you recognize when you're projecting and halt, relax, come back to the screen, the witnessing screen? Good? Clear? Can I move on to the last one? If you understood projection, you can completely understand this very clearly. This entire world is shining because of the light. Yes, it is the ability of that screen to create its own images. Yeah. So the entire world shines because of my own light. Without me, the screen, the witnessing consciousness, nothing is. I am the light in the perception of the world. This is very experiential. Every morning you wake up into this light, you recognize, now you perceive the ceiling. Till now, you could not perceive it. There is nothing outside my field of awareness or my ocean of awareness. There cannot be anything outside it. I have no proof whether matter really exists. And every morning, the first perception is born, sensation is born, thoughts come up, feelings come up. They are all experienced at the physical level. Yeah. I'm actually experiencing consciousness plus physical objects. Yeah. And I'm calling them physical objects, but consciousness plus physical objects is nothing but perception. Yeah. Consciousness plus mental objects is nothing else but thoughts. Yeah. Wake up and recognize this truth. This projection happens every morning. It happens because of I, the consciousness. Nothing can exist outside of me, without me. I am the light in which the world shines. Super clear? Yeah. Now Shravana time is over. Manana time now. You sit and you contemplate. Make notes. Understand every verse. They're just 5 verses. Go through them again. You don't need to know Malayalam. Just look at the English. Those who know Malayalam, great. Yeah? You get the direct words from Atmananda. You sit and contemplate. Look at every verse. Did I understand every verse? Yeah. First round of contemplation will be intellectual. Yes, intellectually I got all 5. Second round of contemplation. Can I relate to it? These are 2 different things, huh? Intellectually I can contemplate, I can judge, I can calculate. Yeah? I can logically deduce something. But that is all intellectual. Experiential is only one thing. Can I relate to this? Yes. And everybody has to. There is really no other way. You are Brahman. Yes. But do not fool yourself. You ask Ekta the same question 100 times, Ekta will answer. Don't worry. Yes. I have the patience. Now you have the patience with yourself. Make an effort to understand intellectually first. Then second, can I relate to this? Then talk with each other if you all have friends in this group. If not, send me an email. Yes, that is proper Manana. Then only your Manana time is over. Then only you go offline. Because now starts Nididhyasana. What is Nididhyasana? Now I start really implementing it and practicing it in day-to-day life. First thing is, every time I become the body, I change my stand. Every time I become the mind, senses, ego, memory, intellect, I change my stand. I have to again change my stand. Yeah. Second, start noticing that it is a projection of me only. I am only projecting it. That is why the saints, the sages, the wise people do not initiate. This is the meaning. Every time you initiate, you are projecting. And whatever you project proliferates. And that proliferation creates the drama. The drama is what you suffer from. Recognize this truth, become very aware. This is what I am doing to myself. Can I see the projection and can I just rest from projecting? Because projection is nothing other than self-talk. Projection is nothing other than storytelling. Projection is nothing else other than what I have told my ego. I am this, I am that, I said this to her, I said that to him, blah, 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 blah. And then I create it more and more. And see, whatever you create manifests. Can you relate to this? Whatever I created in my mind, I built up a story, it manifested. I only made it manifest. There is no God sitting up there ready to punish. Okay, now you project and you see how I punish you. Nobody is doing that. I am doing that to myself. So can I relate to this manifestation that happened from my own projection? Can I halt my projection? Can I make it a practice to rest in between 2 arisings? Can I recognize the background of that witnessing void again and again and rest there? Yes, that's what a sincere seeker does. He is very sincere about his path. He really wants to get out of this misery. And he stopped saying that other people are the cause of my misery. He has become intelligent enough to see that, oh, the cause of my misery is Me. It's not other people. This is the first qualification for being on Advaita path, huh? Otherwise, you're disqualified if you still blame other people, situations, and things. You're not even supposed to be here. You go to mass meditations, you go to mass knowledge sessions. Advaita is very personal. Advaita is hardcore for me. Okay?